Ladies and gentlemen, it's the In the River 2025 New Year's Eve special. This is going to be coming out in 2026, so happy 2026. This is the year of making memories. Memories. What do we know about memories? We know that they do exist in our mind, but where else do they exist? How many memories can you make in others' lives? This year might be your year. Is this year your year? Decide right now, as before you watch another second of this podcast. I want you to pause this video and say, is this your year? Because 2026 is my year. I want to say a big F you to my haters. I make real money. And you think I need you? I don't fucking need you tweens. Scroll. Bedtime. That's your whole fucking life. It's scroll, bedtime. Because you suck. In 2026, we're getting after it, all right? Happy New Year. Because this year, what we're doing is we're cutting out the negative. We're only focusing on the positive. Happy New Year. That's what I told my mother when she said, Aden, you can't go on podcasts. You got to get yourself a job. I said, whoosh. Oh, no. Happy New Year. Because this year it means a damn thing to me. We're making TikToks within the river. We're making short form. We're making long form. It should be big. Happy New Year. It's the 2026 New Year's Eve special of In the River, baby. Happy New Year!
Welcome to the podcast. This is the In the River New Year's special. I'm here with my associates, Aden Timson and Alec. Welcome to the river, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely,
It's a pleasure to be back, man. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go.
2 return guests, is that right?
Sure, yeah.
Wow. Man.
It's really something.
Cheers to that.
And cheers, boys.
I'm pretty excited about the new year. Are you?
I couldn't be more excited, Aden.
I was thinking maybe a fun way to start this off was, are you guys resolution people?
No.
That's okay. Are you?
I've never made a resolution in my life, actually.
Neither have I. Which is why I thought it might be fun if we all look to the person to our right
Make resolutions for
and
them?
make resolutions
That's
for
actually
each other.
good, yeah.
So perhaps, if you don't mind, Mr. Host, you could
yeah.
make some resolutions for me and how
I like
I could be
that
better
idea.
in 2026.
He's got great ideas, this guy.
This guy's a thinker over here.
Yeah.
Do you think you've had a couple good ideas in your life?
One or two, perhaps.
I think I've had a few good ideas, yeah.
Would you guys be comfortable sharing some or no? It's okay if you don't.
I like your original make resolutions for each other.
Mm-hmm.
For you, I would like for you to resolve to, I don't know. I think you should get a posse. I think you should get a posse to follow you around. So
Okay.
It could be human. It could be animal.
Posses are less friend groups, right? They're more so like henchmen.
Yeah, henchman's a good way to put it. I think you should get yourself some henchmen. And I think you should
Maybe
be more...
posses and henchmen. I feel like posses are less about beating the shit out of people and henchmen are. So like a good blend of henchmen and posse. Like some who are just like kind of fan club, like you get a fan club to follow you around.
Sure.
I actually had one of those in elementary school because I was the elementary school quarterback. So I had like 5 kids just follow me around at recess every year.
That's pretty
super
cool.
impressive,
Yeah.
man. I'm really impressed by that sort of thing.
One of the things that I'm most impressed about is when somebody is an elementary school quarterback.
Yeah, no, that's I find
I
that
threw
I find
bombs,
that
man.
extremely
I threw
impressive.
bombs.
That's super impressive to me, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I also had these like athletic shorts that were way too baggy for me to be wearing. So whenever I started running, they would like fly up way too far and just expose my pale white thighs.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That sounds good too. And do you think that attributed to the clout that...
It made me faster. I don't think it attributed to clout, but
Okay, yeah. Do you guys think there's any science behind the notion that the more bright and neon your clothes are, the faster you can run in them?
yeah.
I
I
don't
also
believe
lived
in
by that
science.
rule in
This isn't
elementary
anti-
school.
I did
had
too,
a-
yeah.
I had some bright orange Nikes, man, and I was killing it.
I think
was
maybe
quick
the
I was quick as hell.
effects wear off in older age. I would say that most old men I see in neon are not too fast.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
It's because they're late to the game.
Gotcha. You have to be kind of like, you have to get in early.
Yeah, you got to get in early to that for sure.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
you got in a lot of things in life. You have to get in early too. motocross being one of them, to say the least. But
Interesting.
outside of that, I can't.
That's what
think
you
of
should do.
any
That's my
examples.
resolution for you. Take up motocross.
Okay. Make it
take
your
up-
personality.
Make it your personality.
Yeah.
Get a Pabst Blue Ribbon sponsorship.
Okay.
Um,
I could do that.
yeah.
What's
think
your
this-
resolution for me?
For you, do you mind if I do kind of a question and answer first, kind of get a sense of you? Because we haven't talked in a while.
Absolutely,
It's been
yeah.
a minute. Okay. And then I'll, based off the answers that you give me, the understanding I have of you, then I'll hopefully be able to write a better resolution for
Absolutely.
you in 2026. Because it'll be your first, is that right?
My first 2026?
That. Will
Yeah.
it be?
It'll be my first 2026, yeah.
You too? Okay. Well, maybe a topic for a later date. That sounds like a rabbit trail. Surely we should be getting back to that, though. That's pretty incredible.
That's really something, man.
Okay. Let me think. Do you feel generally content with the way that you've pursued your goals in the past?
Yes.
Do you tend to set more ambitious goals for yourself, or?
No.
Okay. Do you feel generally content with the goals you've set for yourself
Yes.
in the past?
So you're setting low goals, you're happy about them, and you're meeting them.
Yes.
Let's go.
That's great.
That's super awesome, man.
I feel great about it.
Small steps. Are you kind of wake up in the morning and set a 30-step to-do list
No.
so you can cross them all off?
Nope.
Nope. Wow. What
Haven't
kind of
made a
goals do you set
to-do list
yourself?
in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Haven't set a goal in my life, actually.
Okay, so you set no goals. You live up to them.
And you've met
And you're really
100%
happy with that.
of your goals.
Yeah, man.
That's really,
Understood.
That's really
Okay.
awesome.
If I'm setting a goal for myself, I'm just, either pushing myself in a direction that I don't naturally flow in, or setting myself up for failure on something that I'm not going to achieve.
I've heard that from many great achievers, is that goals are just a setup for failure. Okay, so maybe we set
Any
some
attempt is a setup for failure. You
maybe
could
we set
possibly
some
fail.
anti-resolutions, right?
Yeah.
I could set some anti-goals.
I think
yeah.
you need to give this kid a goal, man. I think he just might like how it feels.
Really?
Yeah.
What if we set a goal for during this podcast and you can try to
Yeah.
hit it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
we've-
I'll try anything once. That's what I've always said. So let's do
Right.
it.
Okay, so for the listeners at home, you probably don't know this, but it's generally about 10 hours of filming going into the 1 hour podcast that you see. So over the next 10 hours that we're filming.
The script takes a while to write too.
It does, yeah.
Takes a while to master the script too. It's really tough
amazing
to
how many ums, uhs, and just moments of silence there are that we write into the script too. Maybe we should cut those out in 2026. I don't know.
Nah, man.
Anyways,
I think we should cut out that silly little giggle you just did. Is what I think we should do next time.
Hey, Aden is my friend, all right, and you'll treat him with respect.
okay. A goal for this podcast could be, and please feel free to chime in too if you have any. A collective 10 minutes foot in the water over the next 10 hours.
10 minutes over 10 hours?
Mhm.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yep. But the twist is, Sai and I can't notice. If we notice, your time restarts.
I like that. I like that.
Okay.
So this is going to take a lot of
It's gonna
editing
take a
on your
lot.
part.
It's gonna take a lot.
But in the cut, the final cut that goes on YouTube for this, there's going to be a little clock up in the corner
That's
for every
actually a good idea.
second your foot's in the water
That's
that we
actually
don't
a good
notice.
And we're gonna film for like maybe an hour and a half, 2
Yeah.
hours.
Okay.
So the
So
10-minute
you're-
goal is actually good. And then if we notice, dude, that's gonna be tough. I feel like it should be a lighter bar than that.
It can
like,
10 minutes is too
No,
long.
wait. How about we need to say like a full statement after we notice, and he can take his feet out in that time.
Okay.
How about we just say your feet are in the water?
Yeah, that's a great
Okay.
statement.
I think that's a great saying.
Okay.
So you could go with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Hey, snap out of it. Hey.
Okay, back to the conversation. Alec, give me some resolutions.
I think you should eat more whole foods is what I think you should do.
I eat tons of whole foods, bro.
Okay. Well, I think you should do more of that.
Okay,
That's
like that idea.
that's my resolution for you.
I like it, and I accept.
Alec,
What do
I'll
you
set
guys-
some more for you before we move on. I think that you should You should start asking for more money when you go on podcasts. I think that you're kind of undervaluing yourself. And I know that's kind of, people don't want to see how the sausage is made, but I feel like now might be the one time I get to tell you this, is I'm getting paid a lot of money to be here, and I just feel like... Okay, maybe we should talk after, but I feel like maybe you should be asking
No, I
for
get
a
what
little...
you're getting at, and I reject it.
I think I should practice saying no more often.
Sure. So maybe we could both practice our resolutions. Why don't Alec, you ask for more money?
I told you I rejected it. For the sake of Sayas, I'll ask, will you pay me more for this podcast?
No.
Hey, look at that.
You guys are great friends.
Achieved.
Wow. You guys really support each other's vision.
Yeah, none of us is getting paid anything for this podcast.
That's not true. I'm getting paid quite a bit of money to be here. I would not be here otherwise. You see how the light is striking my face right now? Listen, you don't get this attractive of a face and these blue of eyes for free, okay? I'm getting paid a lot of money to be here.
No, you should make some...
to know this.
Aiden, you should make some surgical enhancements this year.
Oh, that's a good idea. So I've been looking into that. What would you recommend that I get done to my face?
Well, for sure your nose.
Sure.
I think we're all thinking that.
Everybody at home is thinking that.
I think your jawline too.
Sure. Yeah.
I think you should get your chin sanded down just a little bit.
Maybe I was thinking just another jawline, not necessarily changing this one much, just another sharper jawline inside of this one.
I think you should get your earlobes attached.
Do you guys both have... No, are you separated?
I'm separated, man. It's the best. Sai is going to tell you
That's
differently.
propaganda.
No, I don't think it's good to have attached earlobes. I think I should get my earlobes unattached, and you should get your earlobes
That would
attached.
be an easy surgery. Mine would be harder.
I've never even heard of that surgery, but I feel like
I could do it right now with scissors. It wouldn't be hard.
That's an interesting idea right there.
That would be a really, really good clip if you're really trying to take this thing to the next level.
Yeah.
Actually, last night in my dream, there was like a part where I was pretending to be someone else to fool the society that was running my dream.
Okay.
There was a society.
You knew that you were inside of your
Yeah, it was
dream?
the Catholic Church, and Donald Trump is who it was. But no, I didn't know I was in my dream. It was just after the fact. But
okay.
I was trying to fool them, and I disguised myself as a different person by becoming that different person, and that person had like the craziest jawline. Like it looked like I had blocks of cheddar cheese sticking out of my... I looked in a mirror at one point in my dream and just had these big triangles like sticking out, and I was like, yeah, that's good.
You should get your jaw sharpened.
I don't want to hear it, man.
I think you should get your jaw sharpened and you should get your chin sharpened.
You remember what we just said? I'm content about the goals I set and what I've accomplished.
No, scratch all that. We have new resolutions now. You're not content. You want everything sharpened. You want your nose sharpened, you want your chin sharpened, and you want your jaw sharpened.
I don't buy it, man.
All right, what do you guys think about the concept of resolutions? None of us have made resolutions, so why?
I've made resolutions. I think we've probably all made resolutions. It's a lot of hype and hullabaloo, if you will, about setting them on this date.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, making goals is good, but I feel like if you're trying to force it on a certain date, especially as part of like a social thing, you're just making shit up.
Sure.
You're not gonna...
I wonder if you're more or less likely to follow a resolution that's made on a big exciting day, or a random Thursday morning where you went out last night and say, oh, I should
don't
stop
tell
drinking.
anyone about it. I actually think that's a thing. Like, you shouldn't tell anyone your goals, because when you talk about your goals, you get like the dopamine hits as if you've hit them.
Oh, you think so?
I don't think you should dream. I don't think you should sit around dreaming about what it's going to be like when you've achieved your goals either. And it's like, I don't actually do this 100% or anything, but like, I think in theory you should not tell your goals to people, and you shouldn't like sit around dreaming about achieving them, except in terms of like the process, because like those are both like ways to trick your brain to think you've already achieved it.
So what you're saying is possibly dreaming about them too long, hyping them up, telling them to the masses is making it a bigger deal than it is, making it less achievable?
No, it's like that becomes the payout itself, and you stop pursuing the goal, because like the payout is you telling people and dreaming about it, and it's like you feel like you've already gotten it.
I could see that for a proactive goal, right? Like I'm gonna go do something. Easy example: run a marathon. Telling everybody you're gonna run a marathon that gets enough hype.
Yo, you should
around
do
it.
that. That should be your resolution, is become like a marathon guy, but don't actually run the marathons. Make it your personality, but don't actually do it.
Buy a bunch of, I bet
Yeah.
there's medals on eBay I could buy.
Yeah.
Just keep posting just stacks and stacks of medals.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
I need to get another apartment, and one bedroom in that apartment is just all my medals that I bought on eBay.
Yeah, that's fire.
But I could see that in a goal that you're going to achieve something. In a goal that you're going to go stop something, though, I think that you get less dopamine from that, maybe.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, like if you're trying to stop something, you should like have your friends hold you accountable.
Yeah.
But
I get on board with that.
I think it might all depend on the people you have around you, because if you have people that are just like excited for you but don't hold you accountable, like I don't think that's productive at all.
Right.
Like if they're just, oh, good for you for setting this goal, but then when they see you failing, don't say anything about it, I think then you get that dopamine of like getting the excitement of people thinking you're doing better, but then not holding you to that. But I think there's a type of person that you can have around you that I don't think everyone needs, to be fair. So I think it's depends on the situation, but you can have people who are like, you tell them to go on there, right on, bro. And then, 2 weeks later when you're failing, they say, hey man, what you doing, bro? What are you doing over there? Hold you accountable to that.
Sure. Are you guys the type of people to hold your friends accountable?
I feel like no, but I think I've kind of started to try to force that a little bit, because I think, not like force it, but I guess I've tried to speak my mind more a little bit, I guess, because that's something I've always been not good at. And I still do it selectively, very selectively.
Yeah.
But
I don't think I could hold everybody I know accountable and maintain a relationship with this.
yeah, most of the time I just feel like, they're doing their thing, and that's,
You just got to like call people out on their bullshit, because like that's the type of friend that you suffer the most when you don't have, is like someone to call you out on your bullshit. Like if you're acting like an idiot and everyone just kind of like smiling at you, talking about you behind your back, and just like not actually coming to you with it, that's what will like mess you up. Like that's what you really need friends to do, is just like be honest with you when you're not doing whatever or doing whatever.
It sounds like permission to start the intervention. Is that right?
Yeah, you can begin. We've already had an intervention for Alec, so we can begin yours.
I think it too, like, I think it's important to be friends with the type of person that takes that well. I think, like, when because it sucks to, like, tell people that they're doing something wrong or anything like that, but if you have a friend that you can explain, like, I'm doing this because I want to continue to be your friend, and like I want all of us to like succeed together. I think when someone takes that, it's like takes that well, and it's like even the conversation of like just like, I thank you for coming to me with this, because I appreciate the feedback, and like I know that you have good intentions here. Like that's important. And is really good.
Which wouldn't be perceived in every relationship. That if you called every person in your life out on all of their shit right now, maybe 50% of those people would take it genuinely.
Yeah, maybe
that you have that previous rapport and trust that you can actually call them out. Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's also how you do it, like judgmentally versus like lovingly. But
totally,
it's important to make them feel a lot of shame.
Yeah.
That way they know you're serious.
That's true. So they know you're passionate. All right, so let's make a resolution to all go around to all our friends today and tell them everything.
Tonight's a good night to do it too.
Tonight's a great night.
Listeners at home, we are recording this on New Year's Eve, so
Yeah.
with something like that, we can actually go out tonight and watch all of our friends drink and tell them that they are actively ruining the next morning of their life, which then compounds into the next year of their life, which then compounds into the next decade of their life.
That's right.
Understandably, they probably won't create a happy family, a happy life, and we're in the right for doing that, I would say.
That's true.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, indeed.
What do you boys? I was trying to think about what happened this year, and I don't recall anything.
2025 is a weird year. We didn't have a big thing, did we?
Yeah, I feel like when
We usually don't.
that comes to mind, I feel like I just think of a lot of political things or like international affairs type stuff, which
There's
is
a lot of
kind of
those.
like, I don't think I like that, honestly. Like I enjoy and think it's important to engage in that content, so I have an understanding about what's going on, but I don't think I like that. That's what I think of when it's like, oh, what happened significant this year, you know? Like I would like it a lot more if what came to mind was like some, you know, not even necessarily positive things, but just some things that are more relevant to me as a, you know, 'cause it's just like relevant to the community I'm in or relevant to people I'm around. It's like, not to say any political or international stuff doesn't affect us at all, but it's like, in the grand scheme of things, I think it's would be a lot nicer if that's what I thought of first.
I'm wondering too if the absence of something big, right? 2020, what was the COVID year? It's 2020?
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020, obviously everybody says COVID. Since then though, right, we've all, you know, been increasingly just consuming, and there's so much digested that I wonder if it's just never going to be the case again that we have a single moment, because we digest thousands of moments every single day just through what we're exposed to, that it's going to always be hard to look back on a year and say, oh, there wasn't a thing this year, was there? There was a lot of things and they all kind of mattered, but they've all been kind of diluted in the mass of things.
I don't recall a single one of them.
What happened? Who is the Super Bowl performer?
Performer. That's
Yeah.
That's a good way to say it. That's for the teams and the halftime show.
Yeah, you were talking about the halftime show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who played in
I
that
don't
silly
care,
little
bro.
game?
Wait, no, it was Kendrick.
Yeah, bro, it was
Yeah.
Kendrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was a huge moment, and we can't even think of that right off the top.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not a huge moment. It's like
Right? That was a big deal. People were talking
No,
about
yeah, like culturally, but it's not like it doesn't have actual significance in terms of
it.
like
Oh,
the,
I see. I'm sorry.
the cultural consciousness. You know, it doesn't
Sure.
it doesn't change the way that we view the world or anything like that.
Okay.
You know what happened in 2025?
What's that?
First episode of In the River. Best podcast on the planet.
That's right.
Shut up. You're not getting paid. I swear. You'll not get a cent from this.
You have to get a new jawline if you want to get money from the show.
If you sharpen your jawline, we can renegotiate your contract.
Yeah, if I could pick myself out of my dream with that cheddar
Yeah.
cheese blocks for jaw, I would.
Oh
but-
my God, you'd make so much money. It is ridiculous what In the Rubber can do for your career. I started this as a side hustle. I've completely quit my full-time job, and I go on the show 2 times a year, and Saya pays me so much unbelievable money. This is all I have to do all year, so seriously, I would consider it. The ROI is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
What do you guys think about like you know, I think at the new year it's like you're looking forward to the future, and that's very, you know, everyone's manifesting like the future energy and stuff like that. What do you think of just like how you or anyone thinks about the future as a concept?
You want to steer the ship a little? Do you have some thoughts first?
Sure. I think in an ideal phrase, which is never correct. I don't think ideal ever is correct, but I think in the ideal world, like the future is kind of imaginary. Like, yeah, I mean, you never really see the future, right? Any given moment, all you have is what's right now happening.
Show your wine, man.
So at any moment, if you're thinking about the future or setting goals or anything, all you're doing is like creating imaginary things to think about until you get there. So I think oftentimes the future can be like a distraction from the present. New Year's is a weird thing though, because there's people out there celebrating, doing real activities like with each other, with friends. You know, it's a big celebration with community and stuff. And it's all focused on the future. But, you know, when I think about it, I don't think anyone actually is like really thinking about the future on New Year's. Like, I feel like it's like a celebration of the future in the present, which is kind of a weird thing to think about with what I just said, because then it's like celebrating the imaginary in what actually is, which is right now.
And in a weird, convoluted, possibly glass half empty way of looking at it, hoping for the future, right? Spending a whole day thinking about all the things you're going to change and things. It's almost kind of anti-gratitude too, in the sense of this is everything I'm going to improve about my current situation over the next year too.
Yeah.
Which is funny that it feels so hopeful and it feels good to aspire to something, but at its very core, ambition and optimism are rooted in a pessimism about your actual current realized state right now.
Yeah, it's true that like hope as a thing of like hoping things will get better is in fact a bit of rejection of how things are now.
Right.
I think there's a fine line with taking that to an extreme where for a lot of times for people it is productive to be hopeful about the future and things of that nature, but I do think a lot of the times like it's like thinking about how much better it could be is thinking about how much better it could be, which means thinking about how bad it is now.
Yeah. And not necessarily to put
I
it in
don't
such
actually think
blunt
those are
terms,
kind of two separate activities. Like, I don't think you need to hate the present in order to hope for the future and move towards it. I actually think that a lot of what's really appealing about the present is the motion. It's like you're moving towards something. And I think that's what's like addicting and engaging about the present moment is the motion in it, which is towards something. Like if you have a goal and you're moving towards it, then that's what's engaging about it. So it's like the motion in light of the goal, in light of like a future that you're trying to bring about. And it's like we never really bring about the futures exactly that we're trying to. Like I think that God has a part in it, and you should like invite God into that process. And you can make plans for yourself, but God will make better plans hopefully than those. But still just like making goals and moving towards them, and like that motion, that momentum. People talk about how velocity isn't what's fun, it's like momentum. So it's not being rich, it's like getting rich. So I think that's kind of like the present that you enjoy is the present when you're doing what you know you should do to move yourself towards where you should be, type thing.
I think that's one of those things where I say like kind of bring back the ideals never are fully correct. Where I agree with you on that a lot of the time, and then I also agree with what I said a lot of the time, where it's like, hoping that what you have now will get better, will get that. Like, I mean, honestly speaking, like anyone we interact with is in some of the best percentage people like on the planet as far as how things are well-being wise, but it's tough to recognize that a lot of the time. And I don't say that to mean that you don't have your own problems or anything, but smaller problems seem like bigger problems when you don't have bigger problems. And that's no detriment to the person who's having those problems, because the biggest event in your life will be the biggest event in your life no matter how big it is. And you only have what you've experienced to compare it to, unless you really are in like a community where a lot of people are going through worse things than you, stuff like that. So it's kind of a tough thing with which ideal you connect with, and when it's productive to connect with what ideal.
Yeah, it's true.
It's essentially my philosophy in life is sort of adopting philosophies, ideals, morals when it's constructive to my personal success, and as soon as it's not, I ditch them. So in a lot of times, I'm a very moral, upstanding person, and then as soon as it doesn't benefit me financially, I do.
I thought that was being 100% serious at first. I was like, wait.
I do abandon them quite quickly, yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like moral ideals and things like that, it's what I really care about is understanding where those ideals come from and like when you disagree on an idea, I think it's really important to me to just, before disagreeing with anything, fully understanding where that idea is coming from, what they're shooting for, what that means, what their position is, where that could be constructive.
I disagree.
Please tell me.
I just think it's dumb. I
Holy
just think it's a dumb
cow.
thing to say.
This guy practices what he preaches for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Bro,
cool.
you wrote the script. What are you talking about?
I cannot believe how much inefficiency you wrote into the script, by the
ChatGPT
way.
wrote
Yeah.
the scripts, all right? You can't blame me for this.
Saya took the script it wrote and then said, make it more real with stutters
Yeah.
7 times over what it originally gave him. And that's now what we follow. This is a fourth wall break is what's happening right now. Yeah.
What do you think the resolutions
Give
of
me
a
the minions
river
one.
are?
It's deflating for some reason.
Oh, no.
Your
What's
question
that?
again.
I said,
Sorry.
what do you think the resolutions of a river are?
They're secret, man. What the river tells me, I do not repeat.
You and I could speculate. Saya will just
Well, I asked the
unfortunately not
question,
be
so
able
what do you
to.
got to say about it? I'll think about what I got to say about it.
Sure.
No, you know what I think? I think its resolutions are to continue running. I think it's to continue doing what it is. And I think that resonates with a lot of homies where their resolution is, you know, I've been doing good, and I think it's been hard, but I got to keep running. I got to keep doing.
It's actually kind of an interesting topic because I feel like objects like the river or even animals are like, they're already fully what they are. So there's no aspiration in them.
Is it?
They just
Yeah,
are
right.
what they are.
Is it
But since
difficult for a
we're-
river to continue running,
I
or is
feel
it
like-
just the natural state of things?
Yeah,
a river
I
to
feel like
stop running would be difficult.
humans, I think, are uniquely fragmented, where it's like the concept of like the fall in the Garden of Eden, where we're like separated from God and like sort of fragmented in ourselves, and we're working toward that like reintegration. So there's like aspiration. We feel like we're not who we really are, and we're trying to get back to that. But I'm not sure if that's true of things like inanimate objects or animals.
In Christian theology, in which humans are forever trying to get back to the glory of God and trying to repair from original sin and continued sin, is because there's the phrase like the world is of sin, like we're of a sinly world.
Mm-hmm.
Is the actual earth of sin? Is that discussed ever?
You mean the actual earth, like the dirt?
The actual dirt, the water, the animals, anything outside of humanity.
It's an interesting topic. I mean, it's like, I'm definitely not an expert on any of this, so like you should.
Dude, then
But-
why do you have a podcast? You're supposed to be the
point.
expert, man.
That's a good point. But like, yeah, according to some people, it's like the fleshly realm is kind of like, there's like the distinction between the flesh and the spirit, right? So it's almost like we're in a fleshly body which has its own desires that are like in tune with the earth, like greed and lust and pride and all of they call them like fleshly desires, like the desire to sin. So it's like what your body wants. So like the Christian schema, as I understand it, kind of paints it as like a battle between the flesh and the spirit. Like one subordinates the other. And if you allow your flesh to subordinate your spirit, then you give yourself over to like the earth, which is like like the wages of sin is death, right? So it's like the natural consequence for operating in those places is death. And that's like maybe true on an ultimate scale, but also true on like a smaller scale. Like the people you know who live super hedonistically, just like the life gets sucked out of their eyes and they're joyless. But then if you subordinate your flesh with your spirit, like crucify your flesh, so to speak, then your spirit comes alive. So that's like an interesting way of framing it, is like the earth itself. They say like the earth is the domain of Satan, right? Like Satan is the king of the earth, or like he has control of all the powers on earth. And then Jesus says like, my kingdom is not of this world. So like the kingdoms of the world are the domain of Satan in Christian theology. And then the kingdom of heaven is like a thing that you're blind to until you like awake to it, but you can't even see it from a purely earthly perspective.
I kind of feel like that is one of the main contrasts between Western theology and Eastern theology, where I think
awesome! I love where you're going
Eastern
with this.
theology is like, you know, we already acknowledged that like there's this Western idea of like becoming and, you know, striving towards this thing, where I think Eastern theology oftentimes is you already are this thing and you just have to
Right.
realize it. And I think the same goes for the world, both in terms of like, you know, realizing you are of this world already, like you don't have to do anything, like you already are there, you just have to realize it. And but then also like of a, you know, maybe talk about a lion's nature. Like a lion's nature is to kill, and it's tough to call that evil when that's how it's created, you know, that it's how it's been for thousands of years. Like its nature is to kill weaker prey. And, you know, it's called the king of the, it's not a jungle, I guess, I don't know, I'll say king of the jungle, knowing that's not where it resides. But, you know, there's this you know, in the same way, you know, your nature is no different than a lion's, where it's to do what your nature is. And that's an interesting dilemma between like the Eastern and Western theology of where how you really interpret what you are doing and what you're supposed to do.
And in Christian theology, it's like you have two natures, like your fleshly nature, which desires to sin, which leads to death, and then the nature of your spirit, which is like of God, that desires to like draw closer to Him. So, and then there's like the battle that takes place in the grand schema, and also in like the microcosm within you, there's like the battle of your flesh against your spirit. But yeah, it's really interesting how like the Eastern religions say like, look around you, like the present is what you're after, just like acceptance of what you are. And then like Paul specifically says like, don't worship the present or say to yourself that you've already reached the state where you're supposed to be, because that's like in Jesus. So yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, that's even different as far as like what the present or future is, as far as a New Year's idea. You know, I kind of wonder, because I've always been around people who adhere to Western theology around New Year's, but I wonder how an Eastern New Year goes, because I know like the New Year is a huge thing in China and stuff like that, which I know China's not very religious at all. Like they went through the whole modernization phase where any religion or religious ideas were kind of labeled as ancient, and they tried to get rid of that entirely, and it, you know, worked for what they were trying to do. Like I wonder what the New Year's like in like a remote Hindu village in India, you know? Like I wonder what that's like.
Yeah. It's interesting how time is like linear and cyclical, because it's like it's a straight line, but it's also recursive, right? It's like all the 4 seasons, and like
Always.
years are obviously a real thing. Like I don't think the New Year has any like astrological significance or something like that, but obviously years are a thing. So there are sort of like just chapters as dictated by nature, but it's also linear. So that's just kind of interesting.
It is interesting thinking about the New Year as far as just like everyone on the world experience a new year in the same way, because, you know, there's you know, as far as like Einstein's theory of relativities go, you know, it's like time is relevant compared to speed. So
Relative?
What's that?
Relative?
Yeah, time is relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, you know, people's definition of a year could be different dependent on where they are in the cosmos, which obviously all humans right now are on the world. But if you believe in any intelligent life out there, like, I don't know, I wonder at least what their significant time milestone is, or if there is one. Like if they have any idea of what, or if they've, you know, gone beyond
Probably
that.
the solstices.
It's
Well, the
very
solstices are
possible
still like based on earthly.
Yeah, they're based on your positioning, but if
Yeah.
you have any positioning, you'll have solstices if you're in a solar
very
system.
possible though too that we're just uniquely attuned as a planet, because every living organism is pretty in sync with our time clock around here in some matter or another. Like our plants, go dormant for half the year and then, begin to bloom again. And every moving organism hibernates or has some relation to our time. But it could be totally possible, right, that we on this planet are just uniquely attuned to this thing that we call time, and perhaps nobody else cares. And our understanding of everything else is just based on it took them this long to get here, and they don't care about how long it gets to anything. I wonder if that's necessarily a necessary perception for every living thing out there, if there is things beyond our planet here.
Because I think humans can step outside of time.
How's
like
that?
you can have conscious experiences like deep in meditation or maybe drug induced, where your experience of time definitely shifts even in normative consciousness. Like if you're having a great time, it goes by faster.
Yeah.
Even as
Time's
far as
already kinda
dreams go,
relative.
like
As far as dreams go.
yeah, like last night I had a dream that lasted like a whole day, and it was obviously not a whole day because it was a night, and I wasn't dreaming the entire night, I'm sure. So even as far as that goes, your perception of time is.
And looking back on any memory you have right now is going to be in a far different perceived time right now than it was experienced at that time too. You remember a great day you had, it's going to take you approximately maybe 5 to 10 seconds to think through it all.
That's actually a really good question. Do we actually experience time, or do we just perceive it? Because like when you're in the eternal moment, like that's like a Zen Buddhist concept, is like when you're you stop thinking kind of, and you stop attempting to perceive time, and then you find yourself in the eternal moment, which is like, it's kind of like the river, it's always flowing. So that kind of suggests, and what you were saying, like we were all saying with how time can be perceived completely differently, is there an objective element of time, or is it all perceptual? Like is it all sort of malleable in the sense that it can change as we perceive it, or we can stop perceiving it maybe?
Do we have any method of stopping to perceive it entirely? Or is it just so innate, so ingrained in us?
Well, so there's one thing that's definitely true, which is humans do perceive time differently, even as far as like elevation on the planet goes. Like if you put a clock at the top of the Eiffel Tower, it ticks, I don't remember if it's faster or slower, but it ticks faster or slower than people at the base of the Eiffel Tower, because they're moving through space at a quicker speed than those at the bottom of it. It's like kind of Einstein's theory of relativity, how time is relevant, but speed is constant. So, you have the speed that's constant, but the speed at the top of the Eiffel Tower, since it's rotating, is faster than at the bottom of it, since that's also rotating, but it's moving less distance in the same time. So the time ticks differently for people. So people at higher elevation experience time minutely differently.
At higher elevation?
Yeah, like sea level versus where, Colorado.
I can help you get this. So let's say Alec's at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower and I'm at the top.
Yeah.
I say, these are all empty.
Did you set these off?
I did.
Let's go.
These are all trashes. But I think I have more. So I say Happy New Year, right?
Yeah.
At the top of the Eiffel Tower?
At the top.
And I'm
then
at the bottom,
much later, by milliseconds possibly even. And this will make sense in 1 second when I find one that hasn't been exploded. So now, many microseconds later, you hear Happy New Year.
Well, that's
does that make sense now? Because it's one's at an elevation and one's.
Well, that's because of the time it takes for the sound waves to get to you.
No.
So that's also true. But if you're watching time, like this is scientifically proven of people having stopwatches or electronic clocks go. One of them moves slower at elevation because you're moving quicker through space.
None of that. How are you moving quicker through space at higher elevation?
You're covering more space in time.
In the Earth's rotation is what. So
If you have the time
in
based
his
on
example
an earthly clock,
of
you're moving
the Eiffel
through
Tower's
space
distance,
quicker.
we would be an incredibly, like, almost unmeasurable amount different. But, right, if we expand it over a significant more amount of time, if you're moving quite a lot faster, you know, on a much larger radius on the same orbiting and rotating, you know, sphere.
You're moving more space, so time moves slower for you.
Okay.
So time literally moves a little bit slower at the
Right.
top of the Eiffel Tower than it does at the bottom.
Well, isn't it not because space is a constant? It's because space-time is a singular object?
I mean, I think you could think about that in any way, but yeah, space-time is like the singular object, right? And so
Right.
moving through space-time at a quicker rate makes time move slower.
That's crazy.
Because you're moving, you know, you have the space-time.
But that sets, like, that's kind of the counterpoint to what I was saying, because that sets time as an objective fact.
No, speed is the objective fact. The speed at which you move through
Or just
space is
space-time.
the fact.
Space-time. But, like, then there's the element where our perception of it is different, like, depending on our conscious state. So, yeah, it's an interesting question.
So, I mean, you said it was a counterpoint, but I think, like, it proves what you're saying, that humans do interpret time differently. You know, both on a literal scale as far as nanoseconds across where you're at, but both. I mean, I think that's also true, literally in the fact of whatever you're doing. I mean, I think everyone's experienced the time flies when you're having fun. You know, like you're doing something that you love, and everything. You know, the past and present both just disappear when you're in something that you're really into. So you just live in this moment infinitely until it's done. And a byproduct of that is looking back on it. And looking back on how you felt at it, it feels like it was nothing.
That's a different picture than what I was painting, because I, like, in that, it's like space-time is an objective object, and your positioning in it defines how you experience it. And what I was asking is, like, if you think that it's all just perceptual, like if you can actually escape the perception of time, or if your perception of time can speed up and down. And it seems like both of them are kind of true in, like, some way. But it's crazy, bro. Like, have you guys heard about how in Jewish gematria, time is 666, which is the number of the beast? And people talk about how, like, time is some illusion, this, like, from Satan. There's this part in Waking Life, this movie, where I don't think it's actually a Philip K. Dick book. It might actually be, but in Waking Life, he like quotes this Philip K. Dick book, where we're still in, like, the times of Acts, and we're in some sort of, like, dream or illusion where we've, like, gone thousands and thousands of years, and it's like an illusion from Satan to make us think that Jesus isn't coming back, and we're still in, like, 6680 or something like that. And it's like, I don't know, it's just a crazy idea.
Damn, yeah.
That, like, or, like, have you guys heard about, this is, like, kind of just unrelated, but on the same vein. There's this theory that, like, 500 years in the calendar got some leader, I forget all of the details, but, like, somebody wanted to be king in the year
Oh, dude, my phone and everything.
Oh no, oh no, oh my gosh.
That's,
there's something right there.
What is it?
I don't
Bro,
know.
is it down
was
here?
dark.
What went down?
My
What are you losing?
phone is somewhere.
Dude, your phone got lost?
Oh, frostbite!
Okay, I found it.
He found it. He found it.
He found it?
Yeah.
Yep, we're good. I got it.
We're very happy about it. We're very happy about everything that's happening.
Yeah, me too, man.
Get your feet out of the water, dude.
Oh, wait,
it's
have you
so
stuck your
cold
feet in
now.
the water? Have you
Yeah.
gotten any of it?
What?
Have you got your feet in the water at all?
No, dude, I gave up so quick.
He said
All right.
he said he was thinking about it and then just didn't, because honestly, the payoff versus reward is so bad.
No,
on that too.
I do really like that bit though, but 10 minutes is crazy.
Literally a minute would have been a good,
Yeah.
better, yeah, because you're getting maybe 5-10 seconds at a time. Yeah.
No, yeah. Do you want to change it to a minute? Would you do it if we changed it to a minute?
No, dude, not at this point.
It's so cold. I hate my chin. I need to get reconstructive surgery.
Tell us your thoughts.
On the 500-year theory you were just sharing about 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Dude, the best professor
Should I
I ever
complete
had.
that?
Sure.
500 years ago? No. There was some dude who wanted to be king or emperor or something in the year 1000. So there's a theory that he disappeared like 500 years of history, adjusted the Gregorian calendar, and that we're actually like 500 years further back than we thought, because this dude wanted to be emperor, king in the year 1000 because he thought it just lended credence to his authority.
I believe it.
The best professor I had in college ever, he told me to keep my writing clear, concise, and thoughtful. And that was the best advice I'd ever got. Like, that's all I write now is clear, concise, and thoughtful. And I think the big thing there is clear and concise.
Sure.
It gets out all of the extra language you use, which, you know, when there's so many people who use so many words to say things, but clear, concise, and thoughtful, that's what it's about, I think. Yeah, as few words as you can use to get across the message that you really want to get across completely and clearly.
I think of it as the phrase economy of words I picked up in, I went to songwriting school for a year, and I love the medium of song because you really do just have those 3 to 4 minutes if you're writing a mainstream type song to convey a message. And while maybe 60, 70, 80% of people aren't listening to your words, you care a lot about the words that you put into a song.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody's going to sit down with your words, if anybody's going to genius your lyrics too, you better make sure that those are awesome. Like that the maybe 3-4 equivalent of paragraphs that you get to write about a certain subject are worth it. And then you have the added constrictions of rhyme and rhythm too, which really puts that into perspective about in a song, in speaking to a person that you only get to see for a couple minutes, in making your elevator pitch in work, whatever it is, which words actually matter and which words don't. And there's a lot of mediums in our current day consumption that value that a whole bunch, in which like we do scroll and you have about maybe 2 seconds to earn somebody's attention and you better figure it out right away, or you listen to a podcast, and I mean, most podcasts I've listened to, right, you can cut about at least 20% of them, and those are real well-made conversations too, professionally produced and already edited too. And it's interesting. I wonder how much of that carries to our conversations, that we could be making our points a lot quicker than we could
Probably
otherwise if we weren't
always.
thinking about it. Yeah.
I feel like I catch myself saying a lot of, well, honestly, what I catch myself doing is what I literally just did right then, which is start a point, never finish it, and go to something else where I could, you know, just make the point that I want to make,
Sure.
and not add the extra words of
That's your
going
first
down
word, clear, that you're not hitting in that point, right?
Yeah.
Concise,
Absolutely.
sure, we're hitting it.
Being concise is good. I feel like there are some situations where, like, some of my favorite writers are not concise at all, but they create like feeling.
Yeah.
Through their language creates like a way of viewing the world and like feeling. So like some people who use like flowery speech, or like just somebody could deem it excessive if they're really into like concise speaking, like get to the point. But I feel like you're creating like an environment, like a mental environment to perceive things through. It's almost like building a conscious state, you know, is another thing you can do through language, but they're kind of different processes. Like some of my favorite songs are super concise or just like poetic. Like you can be concise and poetic at the same time. Like say, just like make crazy metaphors that are really brief and like infinitely deep, or you can make it kind of flowery and take like a really long time to get to the point, but like take you through a journey kind of along the way. Or you could just be like super ordered and like pragmatic with your language. I feel like they're all good approaches, but they have different objectives.
Do they have different objectives? It feels like maybe they're all the same objective, but just going about it in a different way. Well, I guess you could think about it as different objectives and achieving the same thing through different objectives.
I don't think they're aiming at the same thing. I think super concise language is aiming at like direct communications. Like when you're saying words, signs are ringing off in your mind, and the signs that you're hearing that are ringing off in your mind are not going to be the same ones as that ring off in my mind. But if I'm trying to communicate something simple and direct to you, I'm going to try to put it in as concise of language as possible to have the highest correlation between the signs in your mind and the signs in my mind.
Sure.
But if I'm like making a super like poetic, like metaphorical thing, like somebody could write a really good poem that's like kind of vague and metaphorical, and somebody could take something from it that's completely different than what the author intended, but is also like infinitely deep. So I think it's kind of different things that you set out to achieve with like
Rick Rubin
language.
said something about that, where it's just like, you know, you produce something, and once you put it out into the world, the only thing you can hope for is that someone else has the same magnitude of emotional response that you had.
Right.
Who cares if they get what you get from it? Yeah.
Right.
But
you do care if you're like in a pragmatic situation where you're trying. That's when you want to be concise and direct.
If I'm making the Declaration of Independence, boy, oh boy, do I hope everybody takes my words as what I'm trying to say.
Right.
They take them powerfully and everything. If I'm writing Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead, I'm sure that everybody's interpretation of that is entirely different. Yeah.
And I also do think that as an artist, you want people's like mental imagery and like the place they land at to be as close to yours as possible. I think art is like an attempt at a form of communication where you're like, here's this thing that I can't condense into language, but I want to take you there. And so like, here's my attempt to do that. And it's like bound to fail to a certain extent. Like people will go to a completely different place in their head, but I think it actually does have the intended purpose of like taking you to this place that I can't put into language.
Personally, I'm at a very different point in what I create, and that's not to say that you're wrong or anything like that. It's just where I'm at is when I write a song and we perform it, like it is taken a million different ways. The thing that matters to me, to Rick Rubin's quote that you brought up, is that people resonate it in some way.
It's like, even if they hate it,
yeah,
that's what people judge is like what makes good art objectively is that people have a strong reaction to it, even if it's hate.
And I guess, I would care if people hated my music, to be fair. And that's maybe some ego I need to get over. But to that point,
I mean, I think you just think about hate in a different way too, because there's like the whole punk ska scene, like all of that is around hating the government, hating the authorities, hating this stuff. So it's harnessing hate in a way where, you know, hating you is one thing. Hate in general is a different thing, where I think you could, you know, it's, I don't know, there could be ways in which hate is manifested by the songs you produce that is productive and helpful rather than demeaning to you specifically.
Here's a good example of one that's just like one of those minor off interpretations, but just gets done really common, is have you guys heard that song? It's like, fathers be good to your daughters. It's a John Mayer song called Daughters, and it's all about like dads be good to your girls will grow up to like raise families and stuff like that. And there's the reason that song was wrote was the songwriter was feeling very cheated by a woman that he was in a relationship with that didn't have a good relationship with their father and couldn't pass on that same love. And now today that song is like sung at half of weddings in America for the first like dance with the bride and like the bride's dad. And the reason that song was conceived and the effect that song has had now on the world, and many other art pieces in the world, like, are totally misconstrued, but still to that point, it's objectively like a good, positive thing that exists in the world. And I think that's where you should come at it if you are creating art, is even if you're misunderstood, or your original intent is misunderstood, if your art is understood by somebody, I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing, even if the world doesn't see where you came from it.
And it's inevitable. Like, you have to
Oh, of
assume,
course.
even if you're being as direct as you possibly can,
Yeah.
there's still going to be a certain percentage of people that both don't understand it and are super angered by it. So
Yeah.
it's like, you just got to kind of
Absolutely.
lean into
Sure.
that.